Yeah, we've had Bokhara plains for more than 20 years, and when we first came to this block we realised that it was quite degraded, had a lot of scalded clay pen areas on it, was quite light carrying capacity, and we realised that what was traditional management wasn't working for us. We had ideas around diversification and how else to make the place more productive with that thinking, but it wasn't until we learned that we could actually change the landscape and improve the landscape and focus on what we needed to do with the ecology that we really started to move forward. So that our management of livestock is built around improving the ecology first and foremost. Our productivity comes off the back of that, so we're trying to improve diversity across the place, trying to increase the numbers of and variety of species on the place, and it's all built around increasing soil carbon really, and valuing soil carbon, not from necessarily a financial perspective from the start, but from an ecological point of view. The more carbon we build into the soils, the more resilient we make our whole system, and that's our biggest impediment to running a business out here, is the variability of the rainfall, and how do we deal with that, and how do we get resilience back into our system rather than having these boom bust cycles. We want to maximise the use of all of the rainfall events that we get. Everyone can see a great improvement in their landscape when they have a big rainfall event off the back of a dry period or during a good season. But most of our rainfall comes from smaller events scattered throughout the year. So we need to be able to make use of those. And we can't make use of those if we've taken too much of our ground cover away, if we've got too much bare exposed soil. So we're trying to build up organic matter, build up litter on the ground. That helps retain the moisture, helps more moisture soak in, helps with evaporation through sun and wind. We get quite a bit of wind, but one thing we do get a lot of is sun and heat, so we want to keep the soil covered and build up the perenniality of the plants that are in our system. So we want more perennial summer grasses, which are the foundation really for our system. So the more of them we have in our system, the more we can go into long dry spells, and the quicker we come out of the dry spells when it rains. So it's taking the edge off it, I guess. Oh, we had sporadic or variable areas that were okay with perennial grasses, but a lot of the country didn't have. And where we had perennial bush, we didn't have any grasses, so now we've got both in that system. So a lot of it was either bare ground or very early succession plants. There was a lot of species of copper burr and some of those lower value type plants that are highly valued by sheep producers generally because they freshen up quickly, but they also dry off quickly, and I don't think they're high as value as having a diverse pasture. It's critical. Managing the animals intensively is critical to what we're doing. So having control, just controlling where their mouths are and for how long, and basically using the animals then as a biological tool to regenerate the country. So to do that, it's pretty well dictated to by the water system we have. So you're limited. If you're limited by water to how many you can put in a mob, you'll be limited to how you can manage your place. So we put in a good water system that we can water whatever mob we want to have on the place. We want to minimise the number of mobs we have. So 1 is ideal, 2 is 50% is ideal basically, 3 is too many. That's how we think about it. So we have a good water system, and a lot of the fencing is single wire electric fencing for cattle. It's very cheap and effective to put up. It basically pays for itself in 12 months, 12 to 18 months, with the increased productivity and control we have. Water systems are a little dearer to install, but there's still a 3 or 4 year payback on that, and it's critical to have that control.